I'm here with Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, our neighbor state, and thank you so much for just taking a few minutes to come over here and talk with us today. First of all, how many of these kind of conferences have you been at, specifically defending the American Dream Summit?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the reasons I decided to run for Senate is I was thinking about this after they passed the health care law. In March of 2010, they were holding one of these summits in Wisconsin Dells. And one of our local legislators said, well, if you're really thinking about this, you ought to go down and take a look at this Americans for Prosperity. I'd never heard of it.
Okay.
And go see what's happening down there. And there were thousands of people there, and you realize you're not alone here. I'm not the only one concerned about the direction of this country, about freedom, about individual liberty. There were thousands there, and I just heard the speakers, and it really did provide that kind of final spark that made me decide to run for the United States Senate. So hopefully I could be the vote to repeal Obamacare and provide the votes to get us back on a path of fiscal sanity.
Well, absolutely. You know, Obamacare is absolutely a hot button issue at this conference too, I noticed. So what is it that the conservative movement is doing, or what can they do to repeal or maybe lessen the impact Obamacare has?
Well, first and foremost, we have to inform the American public about what a train wreck. I mean, Max Baucus, Harry Reid have already said that, but we need to make the case of how bad this law is going to be for our health care system, for our federal budget, for our freedoms. And so we have to make that case. It's a political process. You have to inform, persuade, you got to win the argument. But from my standpoint, every Republican, every conservative is united. They want to repeal it, they want to defund it, we want to do anything we can to remove the most damaging parts of the health care bill, try and protect Americans from it. But it starts first and foremost by informing the American public, and we've got to get that supermajority consensus within the America so that we'll get some Democrats joining the efforts, because that's the problem right now. This is a law, it is mandatory spending, and the only way we're going to defund it is if Harry Reid passes a law and President Obama signs it. Right now I don't think that's very likely. We've got to really look at 2014 as the mandated election to repeal Obamacare once and for all.
Right. So what are you specifically doing to make that happen in the Senate?
Well, what we're trying to do, because I'm working with the House because that's where the action starts. I'm working very closely with House members, trying to devise a strategy around the must-pass pieces of legislation, the continuing resolution, the debt ceiling. From my standpoint, I think something we just might accomplish is if we attach defunding provisions to that must-pass legislation, we just might get Democrats to join in. When the House passed individually, President Obama basically admitted that Max Baucus is right, it's a train wreck, so he delayed the employer mandate. House took a vote, 35 House Democrats joined them in that vote. Took another vote on delaying the individual mandate, because that's only fair, right? 22 Democrats joined him in that. So if we attach total delay to the CR, we just might get enough House Democrats to join with that, put pressure on Harry Reid. The other thing we should attach to those must-pass pieces of legislation is, you can't shut down the government. Not the whole thing, because of all this mandatory spending. 2/3 is on the books, and it's not subject to any of these appropriation bills. So what we should do is, let's take that Armageddon shutdown talking point away from Democrats. Let's pass a no-default bill, or a full faith and credit. There's also other language where if you don't pass CR, you continue government spending at current levels. You can't come to agreement in 90 days, drop it 1%, another 90 days, drop another 91%. What that would do, that would give us the tools, the leverage to actually start standing our ground and start winning these battles and start instilling some fiscal discipline into Washington, D.C.
Absolutely. Well, even union leaders are coming on and saying this isn't working. And in fact, AFP released a radio campaign last Friday. Are you familiar with that, or maybe some of the response to that radio campaign that features these union leaders?
Haven't seen that one yet. I'm hoping to see it down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again,
because I've certainly seen the letters, and you're right, and that's some of that information, some of that, I hate to use the word ammunition, but the ammunition that conservatives have, we need to convey, because more than 40% of Americans don't even realize Obamacare is the law of the land yet. We've got to make them aware of it, and we've got to make them aware of what a train wreck it really will be.
Absolutely. So another hot button issue really quick is Syria. Do you think that the president is going to turn and ask Congress about how we should move forward, how he should act?
Well, he certainly should. I was at the White House yesterday talking about the debt and deficit. We also got a pretty good briefing on Syria. My counsel, my input to his chief of staff was the president must make the case to the American public. And then he really should come to Congress for that vote. And that's just, I think, constitutional, and it's the right thing to do. If we're going to put the finest among us in harm's way, that should be approved by the American people and by Congress.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes, and enjoy the rest of the conference. We look forward to hearing from you again.
Great, you too.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.